Please consider becoming a patron of MythVision Podcast. You'll get early access to every video, including this amazing one, and you can ask me personal questions, private message me, anything you'd like. Professor Elaine Pagels, my good friend Gary Stone has a question, and this is directed toward you about the Gnostic ideas. What were the three things Jesus said about who he was to Thomas, or what can we speculate?
That's a good question. It comes out of the Gospel of Thomas, in which the disciples are, it's a sort of version of the scene in Mark 8 where Jesus says, "Who do people say that I am?" And Peter says, "Well, you're the righteous one, you're the Messiah." And in Thomas, Matthew says, "You're a righteous messenger, that is, you're a teacher." And that's how Matthew pictures Jesus, as a teacher. And Thomas then says, "Master, I can't even say what you're like." And then Jesus, it says, took him aside and said three things to him. And he went back and he goes, "What did he say?" "Well, if I tell you even one of the things he said to me, you'll pick up stones and throw them at me, and fire will come out of the stones and burn you up." So what did he say?
Right.
First answer is, we don't know. Second, scholars have speculated. Because later in the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus reveals to Thomas, who is the twin, that he and Thomas are in effect twins. You know, whoever learns from my teaching will become like me, and I will become that person. So scholars say what he might have said is, "I am thou, I am you, you are me, and you are divine." That's blasphemy,
Right.
From a Jewish point of view. You can't say you're divine.
Right. And Christians argue this today even. They're like,
Yes.
"You're not divine." Well,
You
Christ
can't-
is in me.
You can't say you're like Jesus. For most Christians, it's what? Who do you think you are? Well, Thomas says yes. Yes, because we all come from the creation in the image of God, we all have that within us, that capacity to become like Christ. And so it's not blasphemy in that tradition, because it's understood to be a universal gift to human beings. And Thomas has many passages in which Jesus interprets Genesis and says, you know, when created in the image means the divine light is within you. And Jesus speaks of himself as the divine light. And Jesus says in saying 50, "You come from the light too, just as I do." So this is what we think are the three things that would be read by any devout Jew and most Christians as blasphemy, to say, "I am thou. You know, you are me, and you are theos." It doesn't mean you are God. It means you are divine in Greek. Theos. You are from that same divine source. So
there's hints of this in John too. "I am in you, and the Father is in me, and I am in the Father, and I pray that I am in you as I am in the Father." Like, There's something going on there.
Exactly. There is that indwelling of the Spirit, and I am the vine and you are the branches. I mean, you are part of the same life source that I am, right?
Right.
But it's more reserved in John than
Right.
it is in Thomas. And I think that author is much more careful and much more traditional to avoid that implication. But Thomas takes it to another level.
Wow.
And for example, when I first read the Gospel of Thomas, the saying that struck me most, as you may know, is saying 70, which says, Jesus says, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you." And I thought, wow, you don't have to believe that. That's just true.
It's so true because, and you don't even have to interpret that in some strange way, right? Like given myself.
You've lived that.
Right. I opened up my phone. I was 5 days coming off heroin. I was dying. And I literally just said, here's my story. I just told the truth about the crap that I did.
Bring forth what was in you.
Yeah, and I just said it. And guess what? The burden, it was like confession. It was like I unburdened myself. And next thing you know, I'm at day 7 and I've got more of a smile on my face. And I'm saying, I can do this. And so can you. And next thing you know, there's this trend and my channel grows and there's people across the world that are going, you did it and you inspired me and now I did it. And it's like, what the? So now I say transparency. There's a few certain principles. That's why I say I'm a spiritual atheist, so to speak. And I say spiritual not in like a esoteric, like there's a metaphysical thing. I say it as in like practical. There are certain practical principles I live by that I think are practically true, period, no matter how you want to do it.
Yes.
This seems to fit
So
that.
when I first read that saying, I thought, I took it is your story, and it's any of our stories. I took it psychologically. People who are shut off, closed down, don't know who they are, that can destroy you. Mm-hmm. By shutting down, closing down, becoming depressed. That's what a pattern. So bringing forth what is within you, whatever it is, even if it's something you don't want to disclose, that can be liberating. Mm-hmm. So I took it psychologically, Derek. Then later, a few years later, maybe 10, I realized it had another dimension too. It's a theological statement. Because what is within you is not just your psychological capacity, which is why I took it first. It's also understood in the Gospel of Thomas as the divine energy from which you're created.
Right.
So it's the idea that there's this divine light within you and you don't even know it. So once you come to know it, and once you become aware of it, that can transform you. So it can be taken on different levels, and I now think that the text includes those different levels.
Thank you so much for answering that. Gary, my friend, there's your answer, and thank you for questioning or asking the question.